right, let's talk about setting powders today. I have the top 10 of all time. I have tested well over 100 setting powders to give you the best ones that I think will perform amazing. Before we give you the 10, here's the criteria we're judging every single one by. First one, price, obviously how much is this going to cost? Second is the shade range. How many shades does this powder come in? Am I going to find a color that matches me? Third, a formula type. Is it a loose powder? Is it pressed? Is it baked? What kind of powder is it? Because everyone has a preference on what type of powder they like to use and wear. Next is the texture. Is it a super fine texture? Is it moderately fine? Is it a little bit denser? What does that texture feel like? That's going to tell me how it's going to sit on the skin based on my skin type. If I'm oily skin, I may want a more denser powder. If I have dry skin, I want something more fine. Texture matters. Next is going to be the finish. Is it a straight up matte finish? Is it satin? Does it have a little bit of a sheen to it? What is the finish of that going to look like on skin? And then lastly, pigmentation. How much color does this have? Is it very light and ethereal, or does it have full pigmentation so I can wear it almost like a foundation? That matters too, because everyone has a different preference on how much pigmentation they want in their powder. First powder we have is the Makeup by Mario Soft Blur Setting Powder. Now this is a beautiful powder, you all. The price of this one is $38, so I feel like for the amount that you get is actually not a bad price. The shade range of this is 7 shades. I'd like to see Mario come out with just a few more, but 7 for a loose powder actually isn't too bad. I think you can find a color that will match you depending on if you have fair all the way up to really deep skin. Formula type we said was a loose powder, and then the texture of this one, let me show you all. So it is a fine texture, and when I say fine, when you go to dip your finger into it, how ethereal does it feel? I don't know how to use the correct word, you all. When I say the word ethereal, I mean like how dusty, how super fine, like ground down is that? Does it feel dense, kind of like flour where it's a little bit heavier, or does it feel something like very finely milled cornstarch where it's light and airy? The finish of this one I would say is satin. It's almost like a blurring powder, so it's not going to be very flat and matte. Has just the tiniest bit of sheen to it. So for me, I would call this a satin finish. And then the pigmentation of this one is light. So if you like just a light coverage, you don't want it to see like color on your skin. You want something really just to blur and mattify. This would be a great loose powder. The reason I love this powder is because it's finely milled and it's talc-free. And it's really hard to find talc-free powders, you all. I always apply it with a sponge and I pick up some of that loose powder. I want to show you how fine that texture is. Do you see that on the sponge? But I scrape off the excess off the side of the container just so I don't apply too much. And I just dab it here. You can use this for baking if you guys do baking. I don't. I'm not a baking crown. This is beautiful for anyone who has textured skin. You want something that's very lightweight. It's soft. This is also great for sensitive skin because it's talc-free. So I feel like if anyone has any skin issues out there and you feel like your skin gets irritated easily, this is a great option. It's not thick or cakey. It's a fine texture. That's what it looks like. Coming in at number 2 is the Huda Easy Bake Loose Setting Powder. I love this one so much. I have the pink color Cherry Blossom. It's amazing. I love the packaging on this as well. The price of this one is $39 and it comes in 10 different colors. So she's expanded the range as she's gone along. What I really love about this one is the packaging. Do you see how it has the net in there? So for me, I love it because it's easy for me to pick up my sponge, really tap it in there. I can scrape off the excess on the side. I love this packaging. Probably out of all of the ones on this list, this is my favorite. The formula type of this is obviously loose, and the texture of this one I would say is pretty fine, and that's why I like it so much, especially for me over 40 skin. Let me do a swatch so you all can see. Do you see how dusty and light it is? And by dusty, I don't mean like dusty crusty, I mean just very soft, finely milled. The finish of this I would say is matte. It is going to mattify the skin, but it's not flat at all. And the pigmentation of this I would say is a medium. If you put a good coat on, I feel like you'll get a little bit of coverage. I think it's a great option for mattifying and a little bit of coverage. So I take a bit and just put it in the lid, and then again, that same sponge. I'm just a huge advocate of this sponge. I've been using them since 2008. And then I like to use the pink brightening powder just here under the eyes, around my nose, center of my forehead, any place that I really want to brighten the skin. Do you all see the texture of this, how finely milled it is? Look how soft, and it blends beautifully into the skin. That's why I love this powder so much, because me being over 40, I need something very finely milled because I don't want to look thick and cakey. Don't forget to do the eyelids too, so our eyeshadow blends more smoothly. But look how natural that pink color is. Do you see how it just highlighted the center of my face and it brings out my features? Everything looks lifted and nice and bright. At number 3, we have the One Size Beauty Ultimate Blurring Setting Powder. This is also a loose one. The price of this is $34, and that's a really great price for how big of a container this is. I think that price is fair. The shade range of this is 7 colors, so not bad for a loose powder. And then obviously the formula type is a loose powder. It's in a big old tub like this. Now the texture of this one I would say is fine as well. It reminds me a lot of the Huda Beauty one. So let me swatch it for you all so you can see. Do you see how it's just very, very soft, very finely milled? It's very much like the Huda Beauty one. That's why I think I like both of them equally, honestly. The finish of this one is matte, so it's a great mattifying one. If you have oily skin, you want something to really keep that shine at bay and just mattify the skin, but not look thick or cakey. It's beautiful. And then the pigmentation on this one, I would say is medium. For the One Size powder, I like using the color translucent. He has several different colors, but I like the translucent one. What I love about this one, it is so finely milled. It's triple milled, so it's going to be very lightweight, very small particles. And then I just tap it here. Same technique I do for all of my loose powder, but look how beautifully that mattifies the skin, but it doesn't look thick or cakey. It's very lightweight. It just sets everything beautifully. It's one of my favorite powders. Next one we have is the KimChi Puff Puff Pass Set and Bake Powder. I am so glad people are starting to wake up to this one. It's phenomenal, especially for this price point, you all. Okay, so the price point of this, $19. Look how big this jar is. It's as big as my head. Like the price point, you cannot beat this at all. The shade range of this, it comes in 12 colors too. So more than other brands, there's more shades in this formula and it's half the price as other brands. The formula type of this obviously is a loose powder, and I would say the density is really fine. I would say it's a fine texture. So let me show you all. Do you see? I kind of picked up a little bit, but I wish you could feel through the screen. Do you see that sitting on my finger, how fine of a powder that is? Very, very soft, very buttery feeling, very lightweight. And the finish of this one I would say is matte. And the pigmentation of this is light. So if you are a person who has oily skin, you don't want extra coverage, but you really want to mattify, you need something very soft, this hands down phenomenal formula, and $19. Now this powder is phenomenal. I'm so glad people are starting to talk about this more because $19. Look how, ooh! I dropped powder all over me, you guys. And I'm wearing a black shirt too. Fine, my boobies are powdered for the day. Okay, I'm actually going to, because I'm picking up a lot here, I'm gonna press a little bit into my hand. And I wanna show you on this side because it's translucent. Has just a little bit of pigmentation to it, but not so much to where I feel like it's giving me too much of a cake face here. I just put some on the lids, my side without, and there it is within. It really sets my eye makeup underneath, and that's why I love this so much, is it's great for under the eyes, especially for me being over 40, where we tend to have problems under the eye area with creasing and things like that. This doesn't do that at all. It's such a beautiful powder. And then what I do is after I do my whole face makeup, I'll just hydrate a little bit with a setting spray just to help it melt into the skin, but look how much it blurs the skin. It's such a beautiful powder. Next one we have is Gerard Cosmetics Slay the Bake. A lot of people are not talking about this one and I don't know why, because it's a really great formula, you all. So the price of this one is $29 and it comes in 3 different colors. So I'd like to see her expand the range, but this is an independent brand. It's woman owned, so obviously it's going to be harder to come out with a ton of shades. The formula type is obviously a loose powder and the texture of it is fine, very fine. Do you see that on the camera? It's super, super lightweight. This feels like air. I think that's why I love this so much. It is, if you have mature skin or dry skin and you need something that's mattifying, but you want something that feels very, very soft, sits beautifully on the skin, it is a phenomenal formula. The finish of this one, I'm going to say, is more satin versus matte. It has just the tiniest bit of a sheen to it, not much at all. So I'm going to say it's satin, not matte. And the pigmentation of this is light, so it's not going to give you full coverage. If you want something really just to blur out the skin and set it, then this is a beautiful texture. Now for this powder, I like the kind of purple tinted one because most of the time my foundations are too yellow for me. So having a purple is going to counteract the yellowness. I just gently press it here under the eyes. like that. Do you see how it's kind of neutralizing the yellow? So you can apply it all over the face if you want, but I just like applying it here the most. And then with whatever's left, which is hardly anything at all, then I just tap the rest of the face. But look how mattifying that makes my skin. Look at this side compared to this side. Do you see how it's smoother? It's not as yellow. It mattifies the skin, but it doesn't look thick or cakey. It's a really beautiful lightweight powder. Next one we have is the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Powder, and this has been around for a little bit. It's a classic. It's a staple for a reason. The price of this one is $58 and it comes in 8 different shades. So I did check and they do have a good range of tones. I saw some warm shades, some cool shades, some neutrals. So I like that they have a little bit of variety in undertones. The formula type of this is a baked powder, and I believe it's baked based on the shape of the pan. Whenever you see kind of a rounded pan like that, the process of that is they're going to bake it. So they bake it upside down, then they flip it, drop it into the compact. Baked powders are going to be very soft, very ethereal. The finish of this one, I would say, is satin for sure. It has just the tiniest bit of a sheen to it. So if you need a little bit of luminosity to your skin, if you have dry to combination skin, this would sit beautifully on the skin because it's not matte. It gives you just a little bit of a sheen. And the texture of this, I would say, is fine. Even for it being a compact, that texture is very, very soft, very finely milled. So it really isn't going to sit thick or heavy on the skin at all. And the pigmentation of this one, I would say, is buildable. So when you see that I swatch it, has a little bit of color to it. So if you want to add more pigmentation to really just add more coverage on the skin, you can put another layer on. But if you want just something light and kind of diffused color, then this is beautiful. Next one I have is a great drugstore option, and that is the L'Oreal Infallible Blurfection Loose Powder. I have the shade pink here. You all, this hands down, this is the best drugstore loose powder I've ever tried. It is phenomenal. So they have several colors they came out too, but my favorite is the pink one. The price of this is $15.69. Can we just say $16? Like, do we have to do this like weird kind of $15.69? I feel like I'm on The Price is Right. It's $15.69, comes in 4 shades. I'd like to see them expand it a little bit more, but 4 is not bad since it just released. The formula type of this is obviously a loose powder, and the texture of this, I would say, is also fine. And that's why I like this one a lot, is because again, it's just very lightweight, super fine. It's not too heavy, not too dense. The finish of this one is satin. I find that interesting because do you see it how it has just a little bit of a shine to it? Like I'm sitting here in front of a window and it picks up a little bit of a shine, but it's not shiny. The pigmentation of this as well, I would say, is light. So it's not going to give you a ton of coverage, but enough to just really, honestly, the goal of this powder is just to blur out the skin and add some luminosity without it looking shiny. I have the translucent shade, but I really like the pink one for brightening. But let me put it here and show you all how blurring this is. I'm sitting in front of a window, so sorry if the lighting changes. Let me step back. Okay. Do you all see how blurring it is? It is so finely milled, very soft. It diffuses on the skin, perfect amount of pigmentation. Whoever formulated this powder did a phenomenal job. Next one we have is the Lawless Talc-Free Skin Smoothing Powder. This is a compact one. The price of this is $41 and it comes in 10 different shades. So not bad shade range. The formula type of this is a pressed powder, and the texture of this, I would say, is going to be medium. So when I feel it, there is some density to it. So this is a thicker powder than the ones I mentioned previously. It is pressed, so obviously it is going to be a little bit more dense, but if you can see on camera how that's just a more dense powder. So this is going to be great for those who have combination to oily skin, who really want some coverage, you want some density, you want it to sit on the skin. It doesn't look thick or cakey at all. It's beautiful powder, one of my favorite pressed ones, but it's definitely not going to be that ethereal type texture. It's got some oomph to it. You know what I mean? The finish of this one is matte, so again, great for oily skin. The pigmentation on this is full coverage. So if you are looking for a powder that you can almost use as a foundation, or if you really just need a full glam, full extra coverage, you want to put this on top of your foundation. That's how I wear it when I do filming like today, and it just looks beautiful. Now this powder I love because it's talc-free and it gives me full pigmentation. I'm wearing the color light, same technique I'm doing for all the powders, and I want to show you all because I've got a little bit of shine going on right here. So it'll add extra coverage. It doesn't look thick and cakey, but I really like it because it's talc-free, and it's really hard to find talc-free powders powders now. You want to go with a light hand now. Don't apply too much just because it is a pressed powder. And then I put a little bit on my eyelids too. Look on this side how it evened out my skin tone. It added a little bit extra coverage. It's not thick and cakey. I want to show you all the texture of it. Why I love it so much. It is such a soft, smooth formula. It's almost like a cream to powder type finish because it's so soft. But look how beautiful that looks on the skin. And it's talc-free. And did I say that it's talc-free? It's amazing. Next powder we have is the Westman Atelier Vital Pressed Skincare Powder. She is a heavy compact. I feel like this could be used as a weapon if I had to. It's heavy. The price of this, $75. Oh, she's pricey. But I did put some drugstore options on here for you all. I like to keep it well-rounded. So this is our most expensive one, obviously, from here. Price of this, $75, comes in 5 different shades. Formulate type, it is a pressed powder. So I love throwing this in my purse in a compact because it, you know, I can touch up throughout the day if I need. And the texture of this is fine. So I put this in this video because it is the only pressed compact powder that has this fine of a texture that I have tried. Other than, I think the Givenchy might be a little close, but do you see how lightweight and fine that is? Usually with pressed powders, they're a lot more dense, like the Lawless one. They're thicker, they're heavier, they have more weight to them. To get it this fine and make it work in a compact from a formulation standpoint is really tricky. So that's why I put it in here, even though she's $75. But honestly, it is worth it in my opinion if you're looking for great powder. I'm just saying. Texture of this, I said, is fine. The pigmentation on this one is light, so it's not going to give you full coverage, but it has the convenience of a compact. So if you want something that is kind of soft and diffuse, it is great. And the finish of this one is satin. Do you see how it has just a tiniest little bit of sheen to it? So it's not going to be overly matte. If you have dry to combination skin, you want something that's going to blur and diffuse, light pigmentation, this is your girl. Now, this Westman Atelier powder is pricey. I will say that, no doubt, but I do love the high quality luxury feeling of this brand. But most importantly, this powder I really like for under the eyes because it's a light pink color, which is brightening. It's super, super soft, very finely milled. It feels very silky on the skin. So even though this is pricey, I may not use it all over the face. I focus mostly under the eyes when I need it. But when I go to set under the eyes, it gives such a beautiful finish. To me, it almost feels like the Givenchy powder, but in a pressed form. It's very lightweight, very soft and silky. And look at how much that brightens the skin. Do you see the difference between this eye and this eye? Like, it's beautiful, right? It really brightens the skin. It looks so smooth, so flawless. So in my opinion, it is worth every penny. I know it's super expensive, but if you want something that's very high quality, great, especially for over 40 skin, I do think this one is worth it, especially for under the eye area. Like, you can't deny those results, right? Then coming in at number 10, I saved the best for last, is the Givenchy Libre Pressed Powder. Everyone loves this one. The price of this one is $59 and it comes in 6 different colors. And what's cool is they have these colored, I don't know if y'all can see, my lights are kind of washing it out, but it has these color blocks in here, but when you mix it together, it just gives the most beautiful skin color. So 6 colors. Formula type obviously is a pressed powder. And the texture of this, I would say, is medium light. It's not as light, in my opinion, as the Westman Atelier. It's just a little bit more dense, not much, just a little bit, but that's going to be great if you need something that's going to like really sit on the skin but look very flawless and beautiful, but it's not going to be so lightweight that it just blurs it and that's it, if that makes sense. And then the finish is going to be satin finish. You see how it's reflecting just a little bit? So that's amazing for those of us who are over 40. We want it to look like skin. We don't want flat, matte, cakey. We want a bit of a sheen to it so it looks like skin. And the pigmentation on this one is light. So this powder I love so much because it's not too thick, it's not too cakey. Same technique with a sponge. It just blurs everything out. I want to show you on this side versus this side. My bags are barking today, woof woof, I'm so tired. So this powder is so finely milled and it doesn't look flat that I can actually put it all over the face, but I start here under the eyes and around my nose, and then with what's left, which isn't very much at all, then I just gently tap out to the sides of the face because I don't want a lot of product on the edges. I need it mostly in the center. Let me show you real quick. Let me get in. Do you see this side versus this side, how it's very much blurred? That's what a powder is meant to be. And I love that it's in a compact too because it's easy to carry in my purse. Like, this is easily in my top 3 powders of all time because it's just convenient and it looks beautiful on the skin. Like, look at that. Out of this list of 10, which one is your favorite? Let me know in the comments below, and I will see you all next week for another makeup video.